recruiting versus transfer portal, Brian, it seems like at least numbers wise right now, programs like Miami and Florida State are doing very well at both. I was reading an article that they're actually the only schools in the ACC that in 2024 have both top 12 in the portal and top 12 in recruiting, which is interesting. But then you look at like a program like Georgia relies, a lot more on organic recruiting than they do transfer portal additions. They've also had a lot more time to build up a very, very deep roster. Clemson doesn't use the portal at all. Is there like a formula in your mind for what's like a good mix of selective portal recruiting to go along with organic recruiting?
Well, there's a couple of consternations here. Number one, you brought up a really good point. One can make a strong argument that Georgia's the best job in the country because the state's massive and it's the only really good program in that state with a lot of talent. They don't have to use the portal. I mean, they just, every now and then a kid gets hurt, they'll take a receiver or something, but they recruit nationally, get elite kids and just develop them. So it's kind of hard to compare apples to oranges. Miami, when Mario got there, we heard him say unsolicited, hey, the roster's not what we thought it was going to be. He brought that up multiple times with you there, me there, etc. Like, he didn't make any bones about it. So in today's world, how patient would you say Miami fans are, Donno? What would you say? Scale 1 to 10.
Oh, if they're less patient than my 6-year-old when he wants candy. Like there's no patience.
That's the problem he's in. Look, you're probably not going to win national titles relying on the portal as much as Miami is,
right,
but they got to get started. Like they were at a negative. Like comparing the roster when he took over to Georgia is comical. So I think starting in 26, the class, they'll finish this one, the next, they need to be able to start dwindling on how much they rely on the portal because they have their system in place now. But like D tackle was really thin. They're still not quite where they need to be at DB, etc. They had to do those things. Like offensive line might have been their worst spot when they first got there. And of course, Cristobal and his good buddy Alex Mirabal take that very seriously. But now they've recruited that well enough. I don't think they're going to take many portal kids unless it's the center. That's a really critical spot. I think Miami's finally to where we can talk about it realistically. I'll be concerned with Miami on the portal next year. If they're still taking 15 plus kids, that means things aren't going well. But right now, I think they're trending well enough with high school recruits. They just won't have to. And plus, in 25, like Ruben will be a junior, Big Maui Noah, et cetera. They should be a really good roster, be a top 12 team pretty easily. But this year they had to take more kids. It is what it is. If it didn't work out, it didn't work out because they weren't going to have enough talent anyway. They had to do it.